Now we would learn architectural structures and views. First of all, what is a view here? So a representation of set of elements and the relations among them is called a view. Okay, now in previous session we are discussed about the description of element. Okay, what we have discussed in previous session, it's a description of element, but now we are talking about the representation of that particular element. Okay, if we'll draw that one, how it will be represent. Okay, what is the view while drawing that one? So for example, if we'll draw that drawing classes are there in first year, so you will draw a single building in different views. Okay, so like that, here also we are going to represent our modules in a documentation purpose. So that is called the view. And views may be driven by the need to document a particular pattern in your design. So why are we used these views? These are used to get ready a document for a particular module. Clear? So our total system has different modules. In that system modules, for each and every module should be, we need to get ready a document for each and every module for representing or for drawing the term each and every module. Here we are going to use the representations, different representations here. Okay, how it will look like. Okay, suppose one module is there, how it will look like, another module, how it will look like. Okay, how to present that one. Okay, like what engineering drawing, building views. Clear? Next point, some patterns are composed of modules, others are components and connectors, and still others have deployment considerations. Okay, so patterns are composed of a modules. What is the pattern here? Actually, we have discussed in the class. It's a description of element. The description of element is called as a module. Okay. So here there are different elements are there. Those elements, some are turned into a modules, some other turned into a components, and in between components we need a connectors to join those components, and still others have deployment considerations. Okay, the remaining have wide allocation views we are going to show in at the end while designing a deployment, then we are going to use that patterns. The next point is the below are the mechanisms for representing these considerations are module views, component and connector views, allocation views. Okay, coming to the module views, what is a module here? A module is an implementation unit that provides a coherent set of responsibilities. What is a module here? It is a implementation unit, okay, with some set of responsibilities. Okay, for example, okay, see this here. I have a project. That project is online railway reservation system. What is my project here? Online railway reservation system. In this project, total I have how many number of modules? First one is train, passenger, ticket, administrator, database and bank. Here in this total architecture or total system has 6 number of modules are there. Okay, in these 6 modules, So one is passenger. Suppose take single module, that is a passenger modules. In this passenger module, so what are the attributes are there in this passenger modules? First one is name, age, gender, and addresses, contact number. After that, there is three different functions are there for a passenger. What are those functions? I mean, in this module or in this page, we have three operations, separate functions or three operations are there here. What is the first one? It is a reservation. Okay, a passenger may go for a reservation, or he may choose a cancellation of ticket, or the third function is he may searching for a trains. Okay, this is about the complete information about a passenger. Okay, this is the pattern. So this pattern, this page will connected to the trains. When we will go for train? Whenever we will check for the operation of searching train. If you will use the searching train operation, then we will go into the another module that is called train. Okay. Whenever you want to book a ticket for a train, automatically you will move to the ticket page. You will going to the next module. So like that, each and every module should be represented in a project or architecture. And also every module view may be a single class diagram, single class. Okay, for example, here in this particular example, we have passenger has only one class diagram. Okay, in detail, if we will go in detail about this passenger, so we may draw more than one class diagram for implementing the different operations of that passenger. Those operations are reservation, cancellation, and searching train. These are the operations. So we can show to the users. Okay, by drawing some designs. This is one of the design. No? So already we have discussed that whenever we start the class of this software architectures, so architecture is a big design. In generally for small kinds of projects, the designs in the form of, okay, either UML diagrams. In that UML diagrams, one of the UML diagram is a class diagram, and in the form of ER diagrams, entity relationship diagrams, or data flow diagrams, or control flow diagrams. By using any one of these diagrams, we can represent a small kind of projects. Okay, so these are also a designs. If we will go beyond this one, which means big projects, there we will use any one of these diagrams or all, or otherwise we can represent that designs in another way, some other new technology. So that is called architecture. Okay, in simple way, in general way, we will call it as architecture, and designs both are same, but designs are used for small kind of projects. Okay, architectures are used for big projects. Which projects have the lines of code 5000 lines of code and above? Okay, such kind of big projects, designs are called a architectures. Clear? So this is one design for online railway reservation system. In this online railway reservation system, we are having 6 modules. In these 6 modules, each and every module can be represented individually. If we want to explain this diagram in detail, once again you will represent more number of classes in a single class. Okay, you can draw passenger class once again with other modules with the separate functions. Okay, functions or separate functions. So this is about our small example about general what is a module and what module functionalities and responsibilities, like that. If we will take another module, train module, what are the train module has? So it is a train number and train name, what is the train name and what is the source and from which place it's start and where which place it will be reached. After that, what is the arrival time and what are and next one is the departure time of that particular train. So like this, these are the details about a train module. And coming to next one, ticket module. Ticket module has having a ticket fare and ticket number and traveling class, date of journey, time of journey. So this is about ticket information. If the passenger goes to book a ticket, automatically it will redirect to which one? Bank. So that bank name, bank branch, after that payment details. I mean, after paying that one, once again we will take the printout from a printout of this ticket. So, and here once again this passenger access the database, main database or server of a okay train. And here I want to tell you one more point, what it is means. Now whatever the trains information we are accessing, I mean whatever the trains information we are getting, that is from server only. We are accessing by using a client. Our system is a client. Through internet we are accessing a server system. Okay, remember that that one also. In next slide it is useful for you. All right, so clear about module view. So a module is an implementation unit that provides a coherent set of responsibilities. So train has some responsibilities and passenger may have some which means responsibilities in the means functions of that particular module. And what is the next point here? A module might take the form of a class or a collection of classes, okay, layers, an aspect, or any decomposition of the implementation unit. Okay, if we represent a single passenger module in a single class, or otherwise we may split the passenger works in different, again different functions or different layers. What is that one? One is reservation unit, and second one is cancellation, and the third one is searching for a train. Okay, if we want, we will access all those functions at in a single page, or otherwise we can decompose those responsibilities into number of units and we can access. Okay, after that every module has a collection of properties assigned to it. Already we know that each and every module has its okay own properties. These properties are intended to express the important information associated with the modules as well as constraints on the module. So by knowing the properties only, we know that what is the information, what is the importance of each and every module, and if any constraints, if any rules and regulations are there for that module, we can whether we can represent it or not. Okay, there is a need to represent that constraints of that module or not. Like that we are going to okay put in design. Coming to next one, some other properties of modules are okay name of the module. What is the first property of a module here? Name. So by name itself, okay, we can assess what that particular module has. Okay, by seeing, by watching that name itself, okay, we assess that what is that particular module has. If that name is passengers means okay, this total module or this total page is related to a passenger. If we look the tickets means okay, this total module is related to a tickets. So name itself, it shows the responsibility okay, and works jobs of that particular module. So by designing, the name is also a important role in a project for a particular module. Next one is responsibilities. So what are the responsibilities of that particular module while designing? So what are the responsibilities if there is a ticket module? What are the responsibilities the ticket module has? So it must and should shows the fare of a some that fare of that particular journey, and also after it should have that what payment instructions to how to pay the amount, like that. After completion of payment details, it will give the it will give a copy to a customer like printout. So like that, each and every module has a responsibilities. We can represent that responsibilities in our designing too. Coming to visibility of interfaces. So here there is a need of visibility of some interfaces. We must and should put some interfaces, okay, in module, in a visible manner. Some modules are no need to put in visible manner, okay. We will put that options in at the end of that module, or somewhere we can use that particular interfaces or options. If less usage option means we can add at the at the end of that module, okay, while reserving a ticket, okay. For suppose if we'll go for reservation of trains, it will ask do you need some what refreshments. If you want refreshments while booking the ticket, you will please tick here, and you will get some what discount while booking the food in a journey, like that. They'll give some offers. Those are not that much important to some passengers, okay. So there is a need of visibility of that such kind of options or not, like that. We should represent in such kind of things should be represented in our design. Next one is fourth one is implementation information. So how that project is going to implement, so that information should be stored or documented. This view, uh, now our today's topic is view. This view is for documentation purpose, representation of a module. Why we are going for a representation of a module? For a documentation purpose. So in the documentation, we should take care about the implementation information also. What it is? We can take care about the implementation information. So in this implementation information has also 5 topics are there. So what is the first one? Mapping to source code units. Okay, if we want to develop this project, okay, which language we should choose, okay, whether we can implement this one in Java or C or CPP or Python or .NET, like that. So which source code we are going to use to develop this particular project? That is the, we should here maintain a data about that one. And second one, test information. So after after the project development, which kind of tests are performed based on this project, okay, whether it is working correctly or not. So already in a software, so testing also plays an important role. So which kind of tests will be performed, right? That will be maintained. That information is also maintained. And next one is management information. Management information means for completion of this project, how many days this project will take for completion of this project, and also with how much amount it will get ready. Okay, what is the budget of this complete project? Such kind of information is also okay. You should, I mean, that manager will maintain this kind of information too. Scheduling time to that particular project, and also as well as budget of that project. That is a management information. And next one is implementation constraints. Implementation constraints means while implementing this project, is there any complications or constraints or will occur in future or not? If yes, what kind of implementation problems will come? So how to solve those? So that also, okay, we should maintain. And coming to the last one, revision history. If it is this project will be mean anything, any changes are there in this project, so that is also should be document first for future purpose. Okay, this is about a module view. This total module view has the representation of modules. Okay, and the representation of modules in the form of document. That is our module view concept. And coming to the next one, component and connector views. Okay, coming to the views, second view, what is that? Component and connector view. Component and connector views shows elements that have some runtime presence, such as processes, objects, clients, servers, and data stores. Okay, already we have discussed that if we want to know the information of Indian railway system, we must request a server. So here our system is also a one component, server is also a another component. Okay, our system act as a client, and Indian railway server act as a mean that is act as a server. Whenever we are requesting for some information, okay, according to our query, it will retrieve that information and show to us. While we are doing that one, okay, to save our memory, okay, it's a Indian railways information, a system has a lot of information. So if we will store that total information in our system, there is no use, it's a waste of our memory, our system memory space is wasted. So to overcome that, whenever we are in need of trains information, or if we want to go anywhere, then at that time we are requesting the client. I mean, we are requesting the server. Okay, for some particular trains information. Accordingly, it will show the information. Then based on that, we are going for reservation or something like that. So why we are discussing about client and server here? Okay, client is one architecture and server is another architecture. There is a two architectures here. There is a two architectures here. So one architecture is called one component, another architecture is called another component. Okay, to access the information of server, we are in need of a connectors. What we need here, we are in need of a connectors, okay, to access the other component information, which means server information based on client request. Okay, so this is also a that should be developed for our documentation purpose. Okay, additionally, component and connector views include as elements the pathway of interaction, such as communication links, protocols, information flows, and access to shared storage. So whenever we are going to discuss about two different architecture with connectors means, we must discuss about how to connect client with server. Okay, which kind of protocols are used, okay, whether that protocols are support to our system or not, okay. There is a need of network to access a server, not only railway information, any information. Suppose Amazon server, if you want to access the Amazon server also, we are requesting for something, and automatically it will show the products accordingly. Is it clear? Okay. Any real-time apps, I mean, any real-time social medias or apps having some their own servers. Okay, with our systems, we are the clients. With our systems, we are accessing their servers information. Okay, so for accessing that some service information, we are in need of some, I mean the software people must develop the connectors, which means some communication links and protocols, which can TCP IP protocols, UDP protocols, like that. We have learned many network protocols in computer networks language. So by using those networks, we can connect our client system to that server system. So that should present in design, or design. Okay, in design we should draw such kind of things also, that is mandatory. And next point is, components have interfaces called ports. So already you have learned about ports in first year itself. So many ports are there to connect from one system to another systems to share the information. Okay, from one place to another place. Even if we have a LAN connection in our home, then we are also using one LAN port. Okay, so like that, each and everywhere, to connect from one system to another system, we must need of a ports there. And next slide is properties of component and connector views. What are the properties we are expecting from these component and connector views? First one is a reliability. Okay, if we want to what is the failure rate of that particular connectors in between two components? Okay, those will work reliably or not, a long time or not. Okay, so such kind of designs we made, okay, by using computer networks or something networks. So that is called reliability. Next one, performance. So if we are asking for something data, we are requesting for some data, whether it will give, how much fast it will give the response, whether if we are requesting for some data server, so whether it will give fast response, fast or not. So that is the performance of that particular system, client and server. So if it is good, then we will use apps or something. Otherwise, we may not use such kind of apps. If we are going for Amazon, Flipkart or something, why we are going? They'll give. I mean, if we are searching for something, every product will be available with them, and also they will deliver in within a less number of days. So because of those features, so because of those features, that performance should be good. Because of that performance only, we are choosing their apps. I mean, we are going to use that particular websites. Clear? And next one is resource requirements. So resource requirements in the sense, so what is the storage needs? What are the processing and storage needs of a component and a connector? This property can be used to determine whether a proposed hardware configuration will be adequate. So what is the configuration of a hardware? Okay, and also what is the configuration of your software, how it will work. Okay, if you will take less number of configuration systems, whether it will work properly or not. Okay, less configuration of wires, even wires also there is a difference is there, communication links and wires. If you will use a 2G network, how it will work, how much fast it will work. If you will go for a, okay, 3G network, how much it will give response fastly. And like that, nowadays 4G, 5G. Why we are going for 4G, 5G networks? Okay, to improve the fastness of a internet. So like that, those fastness depends upon the requirements, which means resources. I mean, what it is? Those depends upon the. I mean, those will work on different. Systems. And coming to next one is the functionality. So functionality means, so what are the function will perform a each and every component. One component will work as a, client, and another component will work as a server. If you will take client and server architecture only, if you will go for other distribution architecture, so there are a different number of systems will connect. What is the each role of each and every system there, and how they will share the data, and how they will work on that particular data, and how they will gather the data. Like that we can discuss about in distributed manner, but now we are discussing about only client and server, only two systems here. Next one, security of that particular component, and also a security of that connectors too. So this is also a one of the important point, security for a components as well as a connectors. While sharing some information, if doesn't have a security, then we lost the data. Maybe that is a money also nowadays. With some apps are, I mean, not apps, some banking systems or something having, because of some hackers, some customers will lose their amount. So that is a one of the security problems. So to protect our components of from that such kind of steps, what we should do, what we have to something, they have to plan for security. And also concurrency in the sense parallel actions, already you have learned in database TBMS. If some parallel actions will come, so how it will give the response to a user, how it will work, whether the networks are supporting this kind of actions or not. Okay, that should also represent in your designs. And modifiability. So after drawing, I mean, after designing some project, if is there any changes while implementing or implementation, or after implementation also, is there any chances to changes of that particular project? Okay, according to the requirements of a customer, or some other. Okay, so like that, whether this modifiability is possible or not. So we should show that one also. And this is the last view, this is allocation view. And allocation view describes the mapping of software units to elements of an environment in which the software is developed or in which it executes. Actually, so which software is suitable to this particular project? Okay, which software is not, like that. So these allocation views will be shown. What is that? So softwares or hardware features or software features. So if suppose one if we want to execute one project, so while developing a project, you are showing something. What is that? What is the software features and what are the hardwares you are going to use? Okay, this project will be developed in Windows operating system or not, or it needs a Unix, or it needs Ubuntu operating system. Like that, we are going to put some operating system requirements while developing a project. And also some hardware requirements also you need. Means what is the processor speed, how much hard disk you need. Like that you are going to show. Okay, some hardware features also. Those software and hardware features are called the allocation views here. So processor speeds and operating systems, whichever you have used for a developing of that particular project. Okay, that is coming under allocation views. Okay, this is about today's session.